quickly, because the rest of the media will sort of report that something happens but not really turn around and say anything about what's happened, let's talk about our mates in the police force. Let's talk about how they have become punching bags because there's so many being assaulted each and every day, as I keep telling you. How deeply disrespected they are by people who should, of course, as soon as the police turn up, say, that's the end of the night, someone's gone too far. Instead, they pull out their phones and film it. And if they do happen to actually get charged with anything, they'll probably get in front of a judge who'll side with them, not the police. Can we all just take the opportunity to remind the people watching us right now, like my mate Adam, a hulking bloke who's in town this week with his beautiful missus, that we thank you. It's a bloody hard job that you do. Adam, we'll start with you. Obviously, your experience is all over the country, but you know what it's like for people to be police officers in places like Alice Springs. As trite as it may seem to those that will giggle at us having this conversation, can we all just take a second to remind the people there's more good people than bad out there and the good people appreciate the job they do?
Well, absolutely there's more good people than bad people, but I think it's not just about putting people in jail for doing the wrong thing. I think there's a deeper issue here, and that's a lack of respect for people in positions of authority, whether that's a police officer or other frontline service people such as firefighters and ambulance officers and those who work in the hospitals. These people are victims of assault every single day. I think the number's around 2,000 a year assaults on police officers. But it goes back to the level of respect, and I think in regards to police, it's people just aren't afraid of going to jail anymore. I've been quite outspoken in the past on how I think our jails need to toughen up. Yes, it's a place for rehabilitation and often an opportunity for education. But putting vending machines and table tennis tables and pool halls and this sort of nonsense in jails, people aren't afraid of it. And you'll see incidents like those on the streets of Melbourne that you televised earlier where kids just react to the police officers who are the front line, and it's because there's no respect and they're just not scared of the consequences. And I think we need to have tougher consequences. I'm not saying longer jail sentences, and I'm not saying not rehabilitation and education processes, but you've got to take away the fluffy dice, the cotton wool and the marshmallows away from the prison system so that we can toughen up on those kids and the adults so that people don't want to go to jail.
Let's have a chat about this here after showing you that footage from Melbourne one more time about, again, just an interaction between police. Rather than, oh, the cops are here, time to go. Oh, no, it's time to sort of push back, carry on, all the rest of it here. Campbell, you had experience, of course, in Queensland. To me, it's all about how many parts of the system reinforce each other, and it feels to me like the people with the most dangerous job in the system are the ones who increasingly are out on their own, and they're out on their own because sometimes politicians say the right things, but they unwind some of the laws that help them, certainly the bikie stuff in Queensland we've seen, and the judiciary, well, it always sides with the others.
Well, look, I think what we've got to do, Paul, is have a national approach in terms of a bit of cooperation between the states and territories where everyone passes similar laws in terms of the penalties for assaulting police and emergency services officials, and then we go out and we actually advertise it. We actually say, you do this, if you hurt somebody who's basically a servant of the people, and we're going to come after you. And it doesn't matter what state or territory you're in, but there'll be significant penalties. I think we've really got to do that. And I think I know there's plenty of information campaigns out there, but I think we've got to remind people that the police are working for us. And if a police officer asks you to do something, you darn well do it. And we've got to get back to that and have the laws to back them up. We had a terrible case, by the way, in recent times here in Queensland, where a young officer has basically been impacted on for life through a sort of a traffic-associated incident where he's trying to stop a vehicle. Just outrageous what's happened to that young man.